Once upon a time, in a small country town at the foot of a sprawling mountain range, there lived a man named Thomas. Thomas was known throughout the village as a good father, not just to his own children, but to many of the village's youngsters who looked up to him for guidance and support. Thomas was a farmer by trade, and his hands, though rough from years of work, were gentle when he held his children. His wife, Anna, had passed away several years earlier, leaving Thomas to raise their two children, Emma and Jack, on his own. Despite the hardships, Thomas was always cheerful, his eyes sparkling with a deep love for life and for his children. Every morning, before the sun had fully risen, Thomas would wake his children, Emma, who was 12, and Jack, who was 6, would giggle and stretch, ready to start the day. Thomas believed in the power of routine and love to build a strong foundation for his family. He prepared breakfast for them, a simple but hearty meal, and they would sit together at the wooden table he had crafted himself, sharing their dreams and plans for the day. After breakfast, Thomas would walk his children to school, their hands tightly clasped in his. On the way, he would tell them stories of courage, kindness, and the importance of helping others. These stories were often about real people or heroes from legends, and they always carried a moral lesson. One day, as Thomas was working, a girl rushed in, her face flushed with excitement. She told him about a big tree that had fallen across the river, blocking the path to the town-only water source. Without hesitation, Thomas put down his tools and followed the child to the riverbank. Seeing the problem, Thomas rallied the men. He coordinated their efforts, assigning tasks to each person according to their abilities. The villagers worked together under Thomas's guidance, and by evening, they had cleared the path and restored access to the water source. The villagers cheered, and many of them thanked Thomas for his leadership and quick thinking. That night, as Thomas tucked Emma and Jack into bed, they asked him why he always helped others. Thomas smiled and said, "Because a good father doesn't just care for his own family, he cares for his whole community. When we help others, we make the world a better place, and that's the kind of world I want for you both." Years passed, and Emma and Jack grew up, carrying with them the values their father had instilled in them. Emma became a teacher, nurturing young minds and spreading the love of learning. Jack became a doctor, dedicating his life to healing and caring for others. Both of them remained in the village, giving back to the community that had given them so much. Thomas grew older, and his hair turned silver, but his spirit remained as vibrant as ever. On his 70th birthday, the entire village gathered to celebrate. They honored Thomas with stories of his kindness, his wisdom, and his unwavering dedication to his family and his community. As the sun set over the mountains, casting a golden glow over the village, Thomas looked around at the faces of the people he loved. He saw the bright eyes of children who reminded him of Emma and Jack at that age, the grateful smiles of those he had helped, and the deep respect in the eyes of his grown children. Thomas realized that he had lived a life full of love and purpose. He had been more than just a good father to Emma and Jack. He had been a father to an entire village. And in doing so, he had created a legacy of kindness and community that would endure for generations to come.